if my sons are passing on to their sons the lessons that my dad has passed on to me, that's it. I want them to be men of integrity. I want them to pass on the power of prayer because I mean, if you pray organically, like God's going to show up. He's going to answer. It might not be the answer you want, but he's going to answer if it's pure. Society has changed so radically to the degree that we have fallen so far away from just what God has ordained men to be the leaders and to be the strength. And it affected me. COVID was the real genesis of that. I was telling my wife and I were talking because I just did a podcast with her. And it's funny because people see me on these screens now, like I said, I don't even know how all that happened, but I'm actually really quiet. I don't talk that much. I'm very quiet and observant. I'm just kind of a to myself type of guy, So people see me talking all the time, so they think that's my personality, and it's funny. But yeah, man, I believe that we are supposed to better ourselves and be in competition with us yesterday and lighting a fire in other men by living how we speak. And, we can all speak a game and like say we're this and say we're that. But what really affects people is how you act. Like they're going to look at you, they're going to watch you. He can say he's a man of integrity. Is he a man of integrity? Well, he's acting a little funky, So the fitness stuff is kind of a more personal thing with me. Now, the health stuff with having a young granddaughter and my boys, sure, absolutely. That part is without a doubt.
Yeah,
I want to be
awesome.
around for them a long time. If I can't even believe that I have 2 young boys when I'm 47 and my wife is literally hunting me down for number 3.
Fatherhood is still fatherhood. We're still going to have, what do I do when my kid turns 10? What do I do when my daughter gets her period? What do I do when my kid's 16 years old and gets a car, right? It's a level playing field. So I like to help men see the different things that we do. So with that being said, what is it that you do to provide value in the world and to feed the family?
The man is the leader. We are the provider. We are the protection. We are the refuge for our family to run to in times of fear, in times of uncertainty. That's the man's role. And that's where this started because I saw men not providing that. If you look around at young teenagers, they're not growing men. They're not young men. They're very weak. And that's because of the father. Like, for example, what is a man's role? You teach your sons, and daughters, but sons particularly in regards to when you're sitting down, somebody comes in, you stand up, you shake their hand, you look them in the eye. Right? If a woman's going up an escalator, you stand behind her. If you're walking on the street, you walk on the street side. Those things aren't being passed on to sons in particular, and that's a father's role, man. What drives me crazy, and I'm not saying I'm above this because I do it too, but I try to be very conscious of it. If I take my sons to the park, there's other fathers, their faces in their phone, man, and they're not playing with them, and that's the problem. Our face is in a phone and we're not present. People don't have conversation. And the easiness of society has been great. Technology has been great on that side, but it also is a big barrier of connection. That's where I think we find those answers in prayer and meditation and time with ourselves. The best, when I need guidance, I fast a lot and I'll be out in my backyard and just praying and going through that stuff because, I get a lot of DMs of broken men. My channel calls on men's hearts, and I take so much pride in it. I haven't, my channel's gotten pretty big. So especially my Instagram, and I could hire somebody to answer my DMs, but I don't. I answer every single one of them myself because that's why I started this, to help people, and if, courage is contagious. If I've been through a lot, man, and I've been broken. So if a man's in a broken stage, because I talk obviously a lot about sobriety, and that brings a lot of people to my DMs through that type of stuff. And especially at first, Ned, I mean, literally answering emails like I read at 4, by 5, I'm working, and from 5 all day till 9 o'clock, I'm answering DMs of those types of things. There's a lot of hatred in those DMs too, but there's a lot of just love and support, and then just broken men that kind of just need somebody, you lit a fire in their soul by something you posted. You get that, you have a channel just like it. So you light a fire, and that's that iron sharpens iron stuff, man. Like, that's we're here for. My sponsor 14 years ago told me words that have changed my life, and I heed them daily. If you can't see in my office, but it says that right there. It's my favorite quote. He said, JD, great men help other men succeed.